Hey folks, today I'm gonna talk about why I stopped picking Sustain Roam, especially after the latest patch. But before that, let me ask you something real quick. If you're a Sustain Roam user and a solo ranker, are you actually happy while doing it? Because honestly, from my perspective, I just can't enjoy Sustain Roam anymore, especially in solo rank after this patch. We'll get into the juicy details soon, so stick around till the end. Alright. As you can see, I picked Minsitthar in this match, and obviously, I'm going full damage build. I even told my team beforehand that I'm doing so. One of the big advantages I had this game was that the enemy lineup relies on close-range skills. They have to get near to use their abilities, and that's where Minsithar's hook shines the most. If you wait for the perfect moment, one good hook can completely change the outcome of a team fight. For example, Roger needs to stand still for a moment to cast his first skill in human form, right? So with perfect timing, you can easily pull him in. Same goes for Nana and Rafaela. They're easy targets if your reflexes are on point. Plus, we had a Gusion on our side. So if I managed to land a clean hook, he instantly secured the kill. That's why Minsitthar is such a great pick when your team has a burst-dependent mage or assassin. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes you gotta decide, do you use your ultimate to shut down one fed enemy or save it for the next full team fight? It really depends on the situation, and in this game, they didn't even have any real sustain heroes except that thick-thigh girl. But she had to stay under the tower anyway because, you know, Argus players. You leave the tower for 5 seconds and boom, he's already started his tower collection mission. And here's the funny part. That thick-thigh girl actually killed Argus, even though he could clearly see me coming on the map to help him. Anyway, right after that, I pulled off a clean flicker ult combo just to delete this Nana from existence. Because let's be honest, she might look cute, but in teamfights, she's an absolute nightmare. One annoying transform and your whole combo's gone. So yeah, I had to make sure she disappeared early. And once she was out of the picture, they really had no chance against us in the early phase. Oh, and of course, we secured the first turtle like it was free real estate. Then I saw Gusion just popped Nana's passive, and while she was busy escaping, I decided to take full advantage of the chaos. I lined it up perfectly and hooked 2 of their teammates at once. Now tell me that didn't feel good, because honestly, hooking multiple enemies at the same time, that's the kind of satisfaction that never gets old. Anyways, here I didn't really expect Obsidia to land her ultimate on me. Honestly, that felt like a total blind prediction from her side. But here's the kicker. They got greedy right after that. 4 of them ended up getting completely wiped out by my teammates, and even Roger couldn't follow up properly, so yeah, totally worth it. Then Argus went full crazy and tried to take the turret all alone, no minions at all. I just waited because I knew they'd come for him. And guess what? Another perfect hook right to Obsidia's face. Sweet revenge. At this point, I could feel how frustrated the enemy team was. I wish I could see what they were typing in chat, you know. Just kidding. They kept making mistakes in this match, and that really cost them the game. I guess that's because of the frustration. But you know what? After all that stress in ranked, I definitely deserved this win. Look at this Argus. I thought he was good, but I take that back. Yeah, he pushed the turret, but he went for an unnecessary fight and got trapped, so I just ignored him. Then my team went for the Lord while I waited in the bush for vision. And guess what Argus did again? He really made a big sacrifice for the team. I'm not sure if it was worth it, but hey, it wasn't a bad move, just not really needed, you know? Not if you're dying, so anyways. After that, while my team pushing Lord on bottom lane, I tried to pressurize the top lane by myself. Then suddenly, Obsidian ulted me. I thought I was dead, but somehow I give her the backfire treatment. Then I made a mistake here. I should have stayed in my ult, since Roger couldn't use his wolf's first form inside my ult. But guess what? Roger was so blind that he even ignored the fact that Lord is marching towards his base. And of course, he gets killed afterwards. No way now they're defending their base now. I really don't want this type of Roger in my team, you know. Yeah, it was kind of an easy match if you ask me. Maybe the enemies had some skill issues or just went with a bad draft. Either way, things went pretty well for us. For the next match, I got my king again, and the enemies had a healer this time too. So I was feeling pretty confident from the start. Like I said before, Minsitthar is a great pick as a roamer when the enemy team has a healing support. So let's see how this one goes. As you can see, I just engaged blindly because I knew I had the upper hand. But things didn't exactly go as planned. The situation backfired on me. So before it got any messier, I decided to just recall back to base. And honestly, I don't get it. Why did the enemies pick Novaria when they didn't even have a proper frontliner? I mean, sure, they had Estes and Alpha, but who's supposed to hold the front if I gank them with someone? Also, Alpha's great in 1v1 fights early on, but he still needs someone to initiate for him, right? Once he uses his ultimate, there's no real escape for him. So yeah, I was honestly pretty confused about their draft in this match. Like you can see here, I just ulted on this Julian, and Estes couldn't do anything about it. I mean, yeah, healing roam is the meta right now, I get that. But that doesn't mean you can just pick it blindly, you know? And this Alpha even typed in chat, acting like he's about to wipe us all in the late game. But you know what? I actually love when players do that. I like challenges. I mean, who doesn't? But imagine talking big without even realizing your team's draft is completely messed up. The funny thing is, I don't think he even knew I was going for a damage build this game. If I had gone for a sustain build, sure, Alpha could probably take me down easily. But since I started dominating early on, there's just no way he can catch up to me at this point. And while I was pushing this turret, I accidentally pressed my ult. Yeah, a bit embarrassing, but hey, it happens. It is what it is. But the good thing, my team managed to take down the turtle even without my help, so yeah. Glad my ult didn't affect the turtle fight. Then while they were busy fighting on mid lane, I just popped up on perfect time and got this Estes by his skirt and gave him the spear treatment as usual. Then after, I rotated to EXP lane to provide some help and caught this Julian off guard, and he couldn't even do anything but let us do the job done. Then the big guy Alpha shows up. Yeah, I really hope his big talk actually carries through to the late game. Till now, I was just chilling, enjoying the game, you know? Everything was going smooth. What could possibly go wrong, right? Then I thought, let's give this Granger a special little gift. Yeah, you guessed it. A nice shiny spear delivery straight from the king himself. Now imagine this. Your whole team got zero vision, no map awareness, and everyone's just wandering around like headless chickens. That's exactly how this match felt for the enemies. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, that Granger guy recognizes me, and that honestly made me smile. Because of moments like that, because of you guys watching, commenting, and supporting me, I'm still here doing what I love. Seriously, seeing your comments and love on my videos always makes my day. And you did not supposed to see that, but even after I messed up my ult, seeing him spamming his recall on us, we all just jumped on him, you know. No way we gonna tolerating things like that. People. Even after dominating so good, we secured the Lord after. Because in late game, things gets unpredictable, you know? I really learned a lot from my mistakes, so I don't want it to throw this game. After some satisfying legendary plays, we wrapped up the game without hesitation. This was my last match before Mythical Glory, and honestly, I didn't expect it to be this easy. But hey, luck's on my side. But that's exactly the dangerous thought when Moonton is handing out win streaks.
I do what I want.
Next game, the enemies had an Alucard Angela combo. Perfect for Minsitthar domination, but since they banned him, I went with Franco instead. His suppression skill makes it easy to hit Alucard when Angela ults. That's what I thought, you know. Surprisingly, this guy took Yin on jungle. Now tell me if I'm wrong, there's no way a Yin can dominate Alucard in late game, right? It could have made sense if he was a roamer and we had a sustain plus control type hero like Ruby on the X-Plane, but it's a different story. And what we had as an X-Planer is a Dyroth. Yes, you heard that right. Also, he used Flicker instead of Vengeance when we needed a sustained EXP laner. But that's on users, right? If you play it right, it can work out. But in this game, he really got bullied by Sissy. And I think you know what happened next. But in the early phase, it was going so smoothly. I even managed to secure some kills even while being a roamer. But it wasn't intentional, you know, it just happened. But one thing you can't ignore is Franco is a very risky pick. If you're inexperienced like me, trust me mate, it won't go well as for my experience. Every roamer has their own different playstyle, so this one is not just my type. But I tried my best to keep up here, you know. I know Alucard will gank on our marksman if I stick to the X-Plane, and if I use my ult to kill that Sissy, Alucard will take advantage of it because we have no crowd control heroes on the team except my suppression skill. So yeah, I was kind of worried about it from the beginning. That's why I hate sustain and team-dependent roam heroes, you know. And that's exactly what happened. Meantime, I was just running around like lost puppy and watched my team die right in front of me. Here you can see it yourself. This is what happens when I don't have my ultimate. I already used it on Gord, and now there's nothing I can do to save my teammates. I mean, one hook can't just delete an Alucard that easily, right? The whole match turned into chaos. That's what happens when you don't master enough heroes. Your draft ends up a mess. But the truth is, I was just trying to have fun. I know how dumb my teammates really are at this point, of course, even though I tried my best to delay enemy farm. At the end, it didn't work out. If you're playing a sustain roamer and your team doesn't follow up on your engages, or worse, they don't know when and where to position, it's all going to fall apart in the end. Trust me, I've been there. So after this one, I'm definitely sticking to my damage roam theory. At least then I can actually do something in situations like this. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, keep pushing and stay safe.
It's only a game.